Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, Zelensky is asking for it, and the Russians will give it to him. Unfortunately, there will be some other casualties surrounding Zelensky. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Ukrainians launching 3 consecutive attacks on Moscow. Today, May 7th, May 6th, May 5 or 5th. The Ukrainians launched massive drone attacks on Russia and Moscow. Xi Jinping is in Moscow. So Zelensky is asking for it. That's the first topic of this video, and we're going to look in this specific drone attack on Moscow in the bigger picture, which is the Ukrainians launched a major drone attack on Russia, and the airports were hit. Some plants were also hit, according to the Ukrainians. And as I said, if Zelensky wants to play like this, I don't know if he's going to survive this one. China calls on Zelensky, and not only China, who else is right here, and the United States of America call on Zelensky to exercise restraint. Probably they tell him, guy, we washed our hands. If you attack Moscow on the 9th of May during the parade, which they hope, we will not defend you, and the Russians will flatten probably Kiev, and unfortunately you with the Ukrainians. All right, let's start with the first topic or the first article. Reuters. Ukrainian drone attack disrupts Moscow airports as Xi visits. See, it disrupts airports. They don't want this guy to land. What if you hit or disrupt the airplane of Xi Jinping and he, I don't know, his plane crashes? What will China do to you? I guarantee you the media in the West will say, well, that's what they would do. But if that would have happened to any foreign leader who landed or came by train to Kiev, oh my, and do you think the Russians did not know when they come, where they arrive? They could have shot out of them. But hey, it's a war, right? Moscow. Ukraine attacked Moscow with drones for a third day on Wednesday, forcing most of the Russian capital's airports to close, just as Chinese President Xi Jinping was due to arrive to mark the victory over the Nazi Germany in World War II. Man, these guys are playing with big fire, and the Americans like it. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin said that Russian air defenses units destroyed at least 14 Ukrainian drones from 10 p.m. on Tuesday until Wednesday morning. Moscow's key airports remained out of operation for most of the night, and Russian national carrier Aeroflot said it was reordering timetables to cope with the disruption. 29 leaders, I will tell you who those are. 29 leaders, including Xi, are expected to attend World War II Victory Day commemorations in Moscow in the coming days, according to Kremlin. I will show you who those people are. So, next one. This comes from the Russians themselves. Russia Today, May 7th. By the way, Xi Jinping will be over there for 3 days visit. All right? Russia hit by mass flight disruptions. Moscow airports have faced severe disruption from Ukrainian drone strikes, stranding thousands of passengers. So, we already know what's going on because those guys let us know in the other article. But what do we have here? Aviation authorities grounded flights at Moscow's airports as well as in the cities of Papipo, Papakakapaka. All right, I will show you because it's more than that. It's more than that. Next one. New Voice of Ukraine. This is the Ukrainians, right? Diplomat. China and the United States of America urge restraint at Moscow parade. Ukraine offers no guarantees. Now, offer restraint, urge restraint. Let me tell you something. In who's restraint? You know exactly who you have to call. What do you mean China and US urge restraint. They should tell like this: Ukraine, don't do it. Or if you do it, the consequences will be severe and we can't cover for you. That's clear. I mean, it's like in the office, if you work for the government, someone does a stupid thing and then you receive an email, the whole office, that please be mindful about this. But we all know who did it. They will not name the baboon. Instead of saying, call the baboon in the office and say, baboon, you act like a baboon, so take it easy. And everybody else don't have to know about it. No, they send the email and they lump everybody in, like we don't know who that is. And then we're supposed to walk on eggshells because of the baboon. No, you reprimand the baboon, not us. Or they come with, it was brought to our attention that this happened in the office and this is blah, 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 blah. Therefore, we're going to have a new policy. So they punish the whole office, the whole workers, the entire office for 1 or 2 baboons. Instead of grabbing the baboons by the neck, bring them in the freaking office, making them stand up and tell them, you baboon number 1, you fucked up, baboon number 2, you also fucked up. This is what we're going to do. Get the hell out. And leave. No, that's the way. But they are waiting to do this kind of little limitations of what you can do in offices, as in real life. If tomorrow something happens, somewhere in the village in Montana, they will, oh my God, did you see that, I don't know, reindeer just hit an airplane? When the airplane landed, the reindeers, therefore what should we do? Should we exterminate the reindeer, or we should just not fly anymore? Don't fly anymore. That's the way it works, my friends, with these imbeciles in America. All right, let's move on here. So then, urge restraint. No, you know exactly who that is. The baboon in Ukraine. The Stein, that's what it is. Right here. Ukraine offers no guarantees. Okay, actions have consequences. Ukraine ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary Konstantin Yelisheyev spoke to the radio New Voice of Ukraine about Ukraine's refusal to guarantee safety. This is not like they have to enforce safety. So see, these things are the other way twisted. It's we don't guarantee safety. No, we don't ask you to guarantee safety. We ask you not to hit, to be the aggressor. I mean, imbeciles on this planet are numerous, and consequences will be according to the actions. So it's not Russia has to provide guarantees to these guys and provide safety against whom? Against me. So this thing is refusal to offer guarantee safety. No, you don't have to guarantee safety. You have to guarantee you don't attack, you don't strike. And if you do, they will flatten you. During Russia's Victory Day parade on May 9th in Moscow. All right, let's start with President Volodymyr. We're not going to start with anything because he said, well, there's other things with Ukraine promises and guarantees them nothing. No, nothing. Why? You are supposed to defend them from our drones. All right, so this is what they, so anyway, they want to guarantee. This is the Ukrainian ambassador. All right. And this is the ambassador's reasoning. The Washington Post speculates that if strikes occur on Russia's holiday, it could anger the United States of America. The outlet suggested Ukraine might hit some Russian regions on May 9th, but not the Moscow parade itself. Do you agree? Could this really anger the US? And this is this guy's reasoning. First, we should not concern ourselves with Russia or its safety. That's their problem. Yeah, but it's a problem because, no, you're the problem. Your drones will be the problem. All right, so that's what these guys reasons. And here is another question for this imbecile. It's strange though, even the US is asking Ukraine not to strike, yet more than one European or even American official has had to take shelter in Kiev during visits when Russia was launching attacks. Why this is double standard? Caution for Russia, but not for Ukraine, especially 4 years into a full-scale war. This is they give him the ball so he can kick it. Even when Ukraine uses its own weapons, yes, my friends, but that's a commemoration for defeating the evil. And if you disrupt the commemorations, the celebrations, how you want it, of defending the evil that you are actually accused of, which is Nazism, doesn't that sound suspicious that you support the evil? Doesn't that make exactly the point the Russians are making? So, how should I put it? It's just like Christmas. We're all Christians, but we are all. You are all. I mean, do you believe or you don't believe? Are you a believer or not? The same. Oh, they did it to us. Did you like it? No. Then why do you do it to the other side? Remember the golden rule? Remember? Don't do unto others what you don't like to be done unto you. Paraphrasing. Okay, let's go. And this is what he says. There was a situation where the Chinese leader was in Russia and Ukraine still carried out drone attacks on Russian territory. The Chinese side was very alarmed. We have a clear response for China. First, at the very least, maintain neutrality. I think China maintains neutrality better than the West. Second, stop aiding the Russian aggressor, not just with drones, spare parts, or specific types of weapons, but also stop sending Chinese nationals to fight in Russia's armed forces against Ukrainians. So the Chinese are fighting, according to this guy. Our position is entirely valid and well-founded. It's China that should be worried now. Wow, are you threatening China now? Is China that should be worried now? They're the ones concerned about the situations ahead of May 9th. Well, my friends, the bottom line is this. We have laws, we have rules, policies. All this mean nothing for the strongest or for the strong. These are just guidances. That's how kind of, I don't promote this, but at one point in life you realize that these are just guidances for some, not even guidances, but for everybody else it's like really the bottom line. I mean, not even, but they over there, they pick and choose when and what and they implement or they follow. So here this Ukrainian ambassador, he talks about China and about Russia. First, everybody knows that you alone, Ukraine, would have been dead in 2 weeks. We all know that. You are talking right now as you are talking because of other interests who are fully involved in this. Why did this start? NATO expansion. And then the coup d'etat in 2014 in your country. Since then you became occupied by outside forces. So that means everybody who cooperated, they are traitors. Got that? So this is how it's, and now you say, well, they should be worried. Is Ukraine threatening China? Yeah, you know why? Because he knows those same interests that defend them from the Russians, hitting them for being those guys' vassal state and being threatened. The Russians feel threatened. You say, oh my God, how can you feel threatened? The same the Americans can feel threatened by certain things, and they feel that they need to conduct preemptive strikes. Why only the United States can do that? Can Romania do that? No. Can Albania? No. Why? For the reason I mentioned. Are weak. The strong is going to cut the line, slap everybody to the side, and is going to grab what he think is his. He's not going to stay in line. Okay, Albania, after you, no, okay, or Romania, okay, Hungary, okay, whatever countries, you know what I mean? The same. And he's talking like this tough, like the Baltic states are talking tough, and Poland are talking tough. Why? Because of the same interest. Poland got an experience already with the Nazis and the Soviets when they talked tough and they got smacked over their beak in the Second World War. Why? Because the same interest in Great Britain, in the West, push them. Don't go negotiate. Don't talk to those guys. Talk to them in bad faith about the Danzig corridor and all that. Okay, Adolf was bad, but what do you want to do? You want to get on him or you want to talk to him? I mean, just say, we don't want to do it, man. What are they going to do, attack us? No, but the weasel way. So they got smacked by the Nazis and the Soviets for the same reason. Why? They're weak. And they're talking. Again, they're talking. I don't pick on the Poles, but nevertheless. So this is the restraint. They don't want a restraint. Okay, you're going to get it, and then you're going to cry like a baby. You'll see. Next one. Kremlin aide reveals which world leaders to attend Victory Day parade. So let's see, foreign dignitaries are arriving in Moscow ahead of May 9th celebration. And let's see who they are. They're going to be from 29 countries. The international guests are also expected to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin, All right, so they're going to meet and do a lot of things. They already did. I will make it another video what Putin did with Maduro. So, Chinese President Xi Jinping, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, Serbia's President Alexander Vučić, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro, Egypt's President. I mean, up to here, from here to Egypt, all these guys are independent. This is, and then the North Koreans should be here, and the Iranians. Those are the countries who are really independent on this planet. The rest, I mean, there are some others, like United States of America is not independent. United States of America is owned by that country, starting with an I. It's not Iran, it's not Iraq or India, okay? So, it's not an independent country, but it's strong, unfortunately, and is directed to smack people for those guys' interests. So those countries that are over there, China, Russia, Brazil, Serbia, Venezuela, these are really, truly free countries, independent. On this 193 or 994 countries on this planet. The rest, not the rest, there are some others that they don't care because they don't have resources. And the Americans don't have interest. Once the Americans, only the Americans, have interest, they lose their sovereignty. Why? By the method of threats, blackmail, regime change, and bombardments. If you don't have anything, you don't have a military strategic position, you don't have resources, the Americans don't even know your name. Why? The minute you discover, some gold or some, plutonium, uranium, whatever they get over there, immediately they're going to be there in a second. And you're going to be their friends. If you're not, you're going to have tyrants in charge of you, and we have to help you, bring democracy to your country, and many other reasons. So we have here Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico, another country that's independent right there. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will not attend. That's another independent country that now gets the American treatment of you did not do what we told you to. Therefore, there you have it with the Pakistan. All right. However, New Delhi will still be represented. Vučić officials, Brussels, Vučić. Yeah, the European Union blackmailed and threatened the Vučić, the president of Serbia, because that's what the European Union does. Yeah. Right here, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban declined an invitation to attend. That's very interesting right there. Well, what do you want? After all, Hungary invited the not criminal Bibi Netanyahu, and even though he had a warrant for his arrest, and at that point Hungary was still a signatory of the ICC court, which issued the warrant. So they had the obligation to arrest him, but they didn't, because that's what European countries do. Again, pick and choose. And Hungary is not a strong country. It's small, landlocked, about 10 million people, no resources, nothing. But hey, someone else is behind that. Who can it be? Well, if you get Netanyahu in your country and you don't arrest him, who do you think owns Hungary? Oh, no, he's against Soros. No, he's an anti-this. No, he's not. He's owned. At least in my card. You don't think so? Why Hungary? All right, let's move on. Let's see what the Ukrainians attacked. Ukrinform. Ukrainian drones strike Russian defense industry facilities in Saransk and Tula. I'm going to show you where these guys are. Kiev Defense Industry Enterprises. Key defense industry enterprises in Saransk and Tula, Russia, were targeted in drone attacks. Only these guys. No, not the civilian infrastructure. Not at all. So where are those located? Let's start with Saransk. It's right here. And this is in, I think, Moldavia something. I will show you on this map. Right here, this is Ukraine. So that is located in Mordovia. Right here, which is next to, see where Moscow is? So these guys launched the drones from here to Moscow and to the Republic of Mordovia. Right here, I never heard of it, sorry. But now I do. So this is where this place is. This is where it was attacked by the mighty drones, the facility. Saransk, right there is just for you. And the other one is Tula, right here. It's by Kaluga. And then you got, if you go down, Oriol and Bryansk. So let me show you the Tula, where these guys said they... All right. Another city. and that is on this map right here. So this is Oriol, this is Tula, and this is Moscow. So pop and parap, pop, these two. So my friends, what do you think? I think that if, again, I said it's the third time I'm saying it, because every time the Ukrainians attack Moscow for this reason, if they attack Moscow, the Russians will possibly get rid of Zelensky. They can. They know, even if they don't know his exact coordinates, they have the means to hit, I know, in the vicinity of Ukraine, like hit Romania and affect Kiev. Anyway, I hope it doesn't happen. What do you think? What do you think? Will it happen or not? I mean, I'm talking about the Ukrainians. Do you think the Ukrainians will attack? I think they will. They will, but I think they will be not attacking the Red Square. If they attack the Red Square, they are toast. Now, another thing. What if the Russians attack the Red Square and then they blame the Ukrainians? Well, the outcome will be the same. Zelensky will clap and Ukraine will be flattened. Or at least maybe Kiev. I hope not. We'll see if the Russians could show this much self-restraint. Now, if something happens to Putin, I guarantee you, I give you a blank check that the Ukrainians would be flattened in Kiev at least. And there's no more Mr. Oh, I'm gonna hit this location, gonna be like this. Everything goes. I hope it doesn't happen. When the guys are clearly ignoring the Chinese, ignoring the Americans, ignoring the Russians, but they are, this is very strange, to say the least. No, not strange, abnormal. It's out of normality when you have the guy who's supported by these guys, bloodline of weapons, intelligence, finance, including sanctions to the enemy. So 100% you depend on those guys, and you dare to say, it's abnormal, this situation. It's abnormal. These guys right here could take care of the Zelensky and whomever plays tough and put their own people over there like they did before. And then they have it done overnight. So something is going on. It must be a third party somewhere. Is it the Brits? I know the Brits, Zelensky is the Brits man, but let them try. Let them try. Thank you very much for being with me again today. They will do it even if I let them try. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.